What's going on, Facebook fam? It's your man, Dr. Will, and you guys know the deal. Let me know what city, what state, what country you're chiming in from. Even if you're watching the replay, let me know what city, what state, what country you're chiming in from. I'm here on the beautiful island of St. Martin on this Monday morning. And this morning, I want to talk to you guys about the power of self-assessment. The power of self-assessment. I think it was Socrates that said, know thyself, know thyself. And over the years, what I found is one of the most powerful things that I've done is to start studying myself. And so every single day, I'm working on an aspect of myself, but I'm also learning more about me, what makes me tick, what motivates me, what inspires me, what demotivates me, what drains me. So every day, I'm learning more about myself. What's going on, Rob? And when you start to do this, I begin to, do all the assessment tests. I started taking all the assessment tests, finding out if I'm right brain, left brain, if I'm an introvert or an extrovert. I got certified in the DISC assessment. So I found out if I was a D, an I, an S, or a C. I found out that I was a high S, and operating as a high S, I was able to find out what my strengths were, what my weaknesses were. And it's been such a game changer for me, because earlier on in my life, I would react to a lot of things versus respond, right? I would react to a lot of things versus respond. And what I found out was I was reacting because I had limited resources. In terms of, I'll give you an example. Growing up, I was what you would call hot-tempered. I would blow up at the drop of a dime. And the reason why I would blow up at the drop of a dime is because I did not know how to articulate my feelings. I did not know how to articulate my disappointment. So because I did not know how to articulate these things, I would blow up, or I would discard a lot of things. If you did something to me that I did not like, and I did not know how to express that to you, instead of coming and talking to you and having a conversation, I would just discard the relationship and say, forget it. I don't need them. Forget it. And I would walk away from relationships because I didn't know how to express my feelings. I didn't know how to say, I didn't appreciate how you said that to me, or I didn't appreciate what you did. And because I didn't know how to articulate my feelings, I would just blow up. If somebody aggressed me the wrong way, the only tool that I had in my toolbox was my hands. And so when anybody aggressed me, in my mind, that meant you wanted to fight. I didn't know about debating. I didn't know that you could have two different points of views and not come to blows. All I knew was, oh, okay, then it's time to fight. You don't agree with me, I don't agree with you, it's time to fight. The more I began to learn about myself and learn about my triggers, I began to become more empowered. I began to become more empowered. Why? Because now I can control myself and I can control situations. I learned how to diffuse situations. I could see when a situation was escalating. And before, if someone else was escalating their attitude, I was escalating my attitude, and then we would just keep going up until we crash. But now, because I've done self-assessment for so many years, I started doing this, 15, 16 years ago. Once again, taking all the assessment, the Myers-Briggs, and reading all the books, learning my love language, learning my spiritual temperament. I started doing all this in-depth study on will, so I could understand what made Will tick. And I encourage you, if you've never taken some time to begin to study yourself, another thing that I did was I looked at a lot of major events in my life, and I began to analyze how I responded to those events. And I began to write down in a notebook, did I respond in a healthy way or an unhealthy way? For me, I began to realize that a lot of the trauma that I had dealt with earlier on in my life, I never dealt with it, right? I went through it, but I never dealt with it. And a lot of stuff I start to put, in the corner of my brain, and I would just say, you know what, I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to think about it. But that's unhealthy. And so it wasn't until I got older that I realized that a lot of this trauma was still circulating in my brain, and it was triggering the way I would respond and the way that I would approach certain situations. And so I would, for anybody that's listening to me, if you haven't made it a practice to study yourself, to really find out who you are, I started to find out that a lot of my thinking, a lot of my perspective, it was influenced by other people. And that's normal, right? You're going to be influenced by your parents. You're going to be influenced by your community. You're going to be influenced by those that you hold high regard, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a member of the clergy, maybe it's a mentor. You begin to see that a lot of your ideology is shaped by your environment. I give you a prime example. When you look at your eating habits, the way you eat, all of us, a lot of it is because of our environment. If you were born in China, you would have a whole different diet. If you were born in India, you would have a total different diet. If you were born in Europe, Germany, you would have a whole different diet. And I began to see this. A lot of our beliefs is geographical, right? A lot of our beliefs are geographical. If you think about what you believe about God, it's heavily based on geographics. If you were born in India, more than likely you become a Hindu or a Buddhist. If you were born in parts of Europe, you're either a Protestant or a Catholic. If you're born in the United States, you're earlier on, depending on your time frame of being born in the United States, or your parents or your grandparents, you're probably Christian. And my question is, have you ever really stopped to examine why you are what you are? Have you ever stopped to examine why you believe what you believe? A lot of the things that I believed, it was because of the house that I grew up in. My mom taught me this, or my grandmother taught me this, and it became gospel truth to me, whether it was right, wrong, or indifferent, until I learned how to, let me self-assess, and find out, do I believe this for myself? Not saying that it was wrong, but let me get the proof. Let me get the proof. Right? I was going off of my grandmother's experience. I was going off of my mom's experience. Let me see if this is my experience with this. Let me see if I have that same experience so I can have that same belief, right? And so when you start to understand that, you know, I've had the pleasure of traveling literally all around the world. And when you start to see that people are living life in total different ways. But wherever you come from, you just tend to think that's the right way. You just tend to think that's the right way. Because I'm an American and this is how we do it. Or I'm European and this is how we do it. Or I'm Asian and this is how we do it. But you should get to a point in your life where you begin to assess, once again, everything that you do and ask yourself, man, why do I do that? Why do I believe that? Why do I think this way? And I mean, this has been so powerful for me because it allows me, you know, even when I work with clients, literally I have clients right now currently from 20 different countries. They come from different perspectives. They come from different beliefs. But because I know who I am, because I know what I believe and I know what I stand for, I'm not easily influenced by anyone else. So this is why I can have, you know, I have 3 clients that are atheists. They don't believe in God. And I'm a Christian. I believe in God. But because I understand who I am and they understand who they are, all I require for them is to be authentic in what they say they believe. Because I'm authentic in what I say I believe. And so I just want them to be, if you're an atheist, I want you to be the best doggone atheist. I don't want you to be wishy-washy. I don't want you to be middle of the road. I want you to be 100%. If you say you're Christian, you say you're Buddhist, I just want you to be 100%. So we can work from a place of authenticity, right? And it doesn't bother me that they're atheists or I have a client who's a Hindu. I have clients who are Muslim. Doesn't bother me, right? And they don't allow what I believe to bother them because we're trying to achieve a certain goal. That's why they hired me, because they want to achieve a certain goal. And once you know yourself, you're not intimidated about working with anybody. You don't shun from working, from with anyone. As long as you're a good moral person, you're a decent person, and you're not out there trying to hurt people, and you're not out there trying to destroy people, I'm fine with you, because at the end of the day, all of that's personal, right? My Christian belief tells me you have to work out your own soul salvation. One of the things I tell my family all the time is we don't go to heaven by committee. It's an individual, right? From what I believe, it's an individual choice. And so we're not all going to heaven as the Morlands. So you have to work out your own soul salvation, whatever that means to you. You have to come to a point in your belief system of what you want to believe and what you choose to believe. And all of this comes from self-assessment, guys. When you begin to really understand yourself, the individual who you are, it makes you a powerful, powerful force to be reckoned with. So that's my thought for you guys on this Monday. If you haven't, begin to self-assess and really begin to study yourself, this would probably be the best gift going into 2021. I would suggest, and just go on the internet and just look up, self-assessment tests. Look up Myers-Briggs. Look up love languages. Look up spiritual temperaments, and begin to just put a curriculum together around those studies, definitely do a DIS assessment to find out if you're a D, you're an I, you're an S, and you're a C. Once you look it up, it'll all make sense what I'm talking about. But you need to know. So now you know how what triggers you, what motivates you, what inspires you. And then the next level, what I started doing, and I'll just share this with you, I started studying those closest to me, right? And literally my whole family, I had my whole family do the DIS. So I now know what my children are. So now I know how to approach them. I know what angle to take with them. I know what motivates them. I know what stimulates them. I know what depresses them. And so it made me a better father, and able to now communicate with them, because we're all, watch this now, we're all individuals. Even though we're a family made up of individuals. And a lot of times what we try to do is blanket, right? One size fits all. And that's not how the world works. And I remember, I'll just share this quickly with you. So I would come up with game night, right? I would say we're going to have family night. We're going to have family night. And let's just say we're going to go bowling. We're going to go bowling. We're going to do family night and we're going to go bowling. We would get to the bowling alley and my daughter is off in the corner on her phone and I'm getting upset. And I'm like, what are you doing on your phone? Get over here. It's family night. But in her mind, she was like, I don't like bowling. I don't want to be here. Not that I don't want to be with the family. I just don't want to be in this bowling alley. But because I was trying to do a one size fits all, making everybody, do something that I enjoy. So what I had to come up with was, I created this tool, this compatibility tool for my family. And we went through this compatibility tool and we found out what everybody liked. Everybody was able to list the 10 things that they like doing. And then I went through it and I circled everything that each of us liked together. And so for us is we like to travel and we like to eat out at restaurants. That was the two compatible things that my family enjoyed doing together. Traveling and eating out. Boom. So now when I'm planning for family time, then now I know, okay, if we're going to enjoy ourselves at family time, then it needs to be in a restaurant setting or we need to be traveling. I found out that myself and my son, we like bowling. So that's where we were compatible. So when it came to daddy, son time, then I know that was an activity that we would enjoy together. That was an activity that we would enjoy together. For myself and my daughter, I like reading. My daughter likes reading. So that's where we can meet compatibility. What book are you reading? Okay, this is what book I'm reading. Okay, let's talk about the book you're reading. Let's talk about the book I'm reading. So when we had daddy-daughter time, that's what we could do. We could talk about the books that we're reading. And so all of this came from, self-assessment. So now I didn't have to get upset anymore about and say, oh, she's a teenager, she's a rebel. No, she just didn't enjoy bowling. So I hope that helps you out. I hope it gives you something to think about, guys. Go out there and have an amazing Monday, have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you guys later.